When silence became louder than the scream. They say the greatest lie is the one you want to believe in. I lived inside that lie for years. It was warm, tender, like morning sunlight on my face. And when it faded, I finally saw the cold that had been hiding behind it all along. This is the story of how I loved, how I lost, and how I found myself again. I never sought luxury. I was content with the small world I built myself: music, books, my mother's warm kitchen. But the world that opened before me on that rainy evening was different, larger, brighter, tempting. Dylan looked like someone pulled straight out of a romance novel. Refined, well-mannered, a little distant. He stood in the rain, holding a small black umbrella over himself, and somehow stopped right next to me. "Are you cold?" His voice was soft, like cashmere. I smiled, and he did too, almost with relief, as if he had been afraid to approach but forced himself anyway. The rain felt like a blessing then. We talked until the city's last lights dimmed. I couldn't look away from his eyes, so warm, so gentle, so easy to trust. He wore the finest suits, but he held my hand softly, delicately, making me forget the difference between our worlds. He opened doors for me, brought flowers, wrote short but ardent notes. He was attention. He was tenderness. He was everything I had dreamed of. So when he knelt down in the rose garden of his family estate and asked me to marry him, who wouldn't have been blinded by such a fairy tale? I said, yes. The first weeks after the wedding felt like flying. The estate was enormous. Gleaming halls, gowns too heavy to wear, diamonds too costly to comprehend. I laughed that I lived in a movie. But movies have directors. And I soon learned who directed my life. It began with small things. "Darling, you shouldn't wear such plain dresses. They don't suit the wife of Dylan Wester. Why do you need that friend? She doesn't understand our new life. I know what's best for you." Then came his family, cold as the marble statues in the front hall. "Sit straighter, Mary. That smile is too wide. Not elegant. In our circle, women don't argue." I tried to be proper, to earn their approval. But the more I bent, the more they wanted to break me. And then Dylan began demanding the same. His voice, once warm, slowly turned commanding. He touched me less with affection and more with ownership. "Don't go out today. I have meetings, and I want to be sure you're home. Why do you need your phone so much? You should trust me." Trust? It wasn't trust. It was control. The estate that once looked like a palace began shrinking. The walls didn't move, but I saw them closing in. I was allowed to exist only as part of his perfect world. A shadow, a decoration, a possession. I became a prop in my own life. I tried talking to him. Pleading. Reasoning. "Mary," he said one day, looking at me like I was an inconvenience, "I'm protecting you. You should appreciate that." Protecting? He had forbidden me to work. Forbidden friends. Forbidden leaving the house. Every day he left early and returned late. And every day my heart whispered, "Why? Where have you been?" One night I woke to a scent on his shirt. A woman's scent. I didn't want to accept it. I made excuses because I feared collapsing the pedestal I had placed our love upon. But the next days were the same. A distance in his eyes, unexplained exhaustion. A gaze that ghosted right through me. Then came the note from the maid. You deserve to know the truth. She told me everything. About the women. About the trips he explained as business. About the dinners with partners. About the affairs that lasted even while I was there. Even on days when I waited for him sick in bed. The ground didn't shake beneath me. It simply disappeared. When he came home the next morning, I looked at him. Really looked. And something inside me froze. You cheated on me, I whispered. My own voice shook. He shrugged. It doesn't matter. Don't exaggerate. It doesn't matter? My trust? My dignity? My life? You're my wife, Mary. Your role is to support me. Everything else is trivial. That was the moment something inside me finally snapped. Not because of the betrayal, but because of how casually he dismissed it. As if I weren't a person. As if my feelings were dust. I didn't cry that night. Tears couldn't wash away a wound that deep. I sat by the window, watching the sky brighten, and understood. If I don't escape, I will die. Not physically, something worse. Everything that makes me Mary would die. The divorce hit his pride. For the first time, he yelled. For the first time, the hands that once held me tenderly clenched the armrests of his chair so tightly they nearly splintered. You're not leaving, he shouted. I already left, I answered. He was used to controlling, not being challenged. I saw no pain in his eyes, only indignation, because I had ruined his perfect image. But I was no longer the Mary who stood smiling in the rain. When the judge pronounced my name, without his surname, the world came back into focus. When I walked out of the courthouse, the sky was so clear it hurt to look at it. I stood on the steps, small, shaken, but alive. I inhaled. For the first time in years, truly inhaled. And realized I had forgotten what breathing felt like. For years, my heart had been locked away. My mind kept under watch. But now I could walk anywhere. Look at the world with my own eyes. Live on my own terms. That evening I sat in a tiny cafe near the shore and cried. From relief. Not from loss. From freedom. Today I live in a small apartment with white walls and tulips on the windowsill. I work. I meet people. Sometimes I still hear Dylan's voice in my thoughts. Strict, cold, unyielding. But now I answer it. I'm no longer your shadow. And in the quiet, in the freedom, in the morning light, I finally feel something I never felt in the mansion. Peace. I don't regret the past. It made me stronger. It taught me that even after the darkest night, a person can find themselves again. I breathe deeply, without permission, without fear, and every breath is a victory.